Welcome to the Show Day podcast for July 4th, 2019. Happy 4th of July, everyone. Of course, that was John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever in honor of today being July 4th, 2019. Today on the podcast, I will recap the DCI event from last night, scores, recap all the normal stuff, but also take a look at some of the most patriotic shows and moments in the history of both drum corps and a little bit of marching band as well. So, a little bit of a special edition show day podcast for today, but still going to start off with recaps as normal. So here is the recap from last night. We had the Rotary Music Festival in Cedarburg, Wisconsin. There was a second event called Rogue DCI in Ashland, Oregon, but there were only 3 corps there. It was not a scored event. So, this is the only event I have recaps from. So, River City Rhythm Colt Cadets, only 2 open class corps in attendance. River City Rhythm sweeps everything. General effect and visual here, 21-5 in general effect to an 18-7 for the Colt Cadets, and then in visual a 15-8 to a 14.7. Over in music, River City Rhythm, a whole point up in brass, and then that just keeps going over into analysis and in percussion. 16-3 for River City Rhythm and Music, and Colt Cadets a 14.65. Overall totals a 53.6 for River City Rhythm and a 48.05 for the Colt Cadets. On the world class side of things last night, the Blue Stars, they're looking better and better by the night. Last night, they put up a score in the 77s. The Blue Stars definitely looking quite good for this early in the season. General effect-wise, all ones for them. Everybody, these 5 corps here, Blue Stars, Crossman, Phantom, Colts, Madison, all went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in general effect. Not a whole lot of mixing up in visual either, just one out of place score, and that's the Crossmen past the Blue Stars in color guard by 2/10, but the Blue Stars still win overall visual a 23-8 to a 23.4. And then in the music caption, this gets interesting, and not at the top necessarily, but as we move throughout. So brass, the only big thing there, so you got the Blue Stars up 3/10 to the Crossmen, and it's another 2/10 back to Phantom, and then it's 6/10 back to Madison. Madison Scouts past the Colts in brass by 2/10. Music analysis, the mix up here, Phantom passes the Crossmen, and it's not by a small margin. The Blue Stars at a 15-4, Phantom at a 15-2, Crossmen all the way back at a 14.6. That's 8/10 back of the Blue Stars, and that's one of the parts that's really holding the Crossmen back from going further in the further up in the rankings. So the Colts, Madison, 4th and 5th in analysis, but that Crossman score hurts them. And it does that again in percussion. Blue Stars 15-2. Phantom, after winning percussion the other night, they don't do that at this show. They come in second, but it's only by a 10th. Third place, 14-6 is the Colts. 4th place, 14-2. That's a point behind the Blue Stars is the Crossmen. And then back at the 14 even is the Madison Scouts. So the overall totals at this show, Blue Stars 77.85. That is a very, very good score for them for this early in the season. Like, think about what we're seeing from other corps. The Blue Stars put up an 81 the night before in East Rutherford. Last night, the Blue Stars put up a score just 4 points back. That is very good. Now, of course, these scores could be inflated. They might be at a 75, but even if they're at a 75, or even a 74, that's still a good score for them right now. The Crossmen, 75.9. not maybe where they want to be. I think they might want to be a little higher, not necessarily score-wise, but maybe placement-wise, be above the Blue Stars. Phantom, they're coming back. 4 points in like 3 days or since their last show. They gained 4 points. They're at a 75.05 now. You got to get Spirit in here to contend, but now Spirit's in the Southeast. Phantom's not. They stay in the Midwest. And really, I don't know what to think of Phantom. I don't know if they're literally going in the right direction. They're literally turning everything around. It sure seems like it, though, right now. 71.45 for the Colts and a 68.6 for Madison. I tweeted out this morning about how Phantom, they're coming back, and I don't know if they're necessarily kicking Spirit out of finals. I think another core may be in jeopardy, whether that is the Crossmen, whether that is the Mandarins, whether that is the Blue Knights. But I think the Crossmen are the core in the most trouble, maybe, right now. So, today's Independence Day, obviously. Not a whole lot going on in the drum corps world with yesterday one show, tonight no shows, all of that, just parades and stuff today, which I'll get to a little later. But I thought it'd be a good day, obviously, to highlight some of the most patriotic and American marching arts productions that have happened over the history of really the activity. So, the first show I decided to include in here, which you see here, is Star of Indiana 1992. And this show here is entitled American Variations. It finished third place at the championships with a 96.7. Championships were held in Madison, Wisconsin, and Cavaliers won the championship, but with Star doing this patriotic show, and you see the graphic in front of the court was the Statue of Liberty, the fireworks. It really was a changing moment, as really all of Star's shows were in the activity. You see their repertoire also listed here, 2 pieces by Morton Gold, Star Spangled Overture and Amber Waves, and then a piece by William Schumann that was entitled Chester Overture, and also another piece entitled The Flag of Stars by Gordon Jacobs. Not necessarily the traditional American composer list like Sousa and all of those composers, but more other pieces in the repertoire that were also having that American theme to them. The second show I decided to feature here was the Cadets 2002, entitled An American Revival. This show was the first season, 2002, after September 11th, 2001. And this show finished third place, 96.75 at championships, but that totally was not the point of the show. Obviously, the competitive factors and everything, but also telling the story of the U.S. and really just showing kind of a inspirational story about New York in September of 2001, but also telling a story about the U.S. So, the championships again were held in Madison, Wisconsin, and the Cavaliers won just as 10 years prior with Star. But as I said, again, the show not necessarily the competitive stuff, but more the story it was telling. Repertoire here, Times Square by Leonard Bernstein, Betty Comden, and Adolph Green, The Place Where Dreams Come True by James Horner, Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy by Don Ray and Hughie Prince, New York Memories by Don Hill, and America the Beautiful by Samuel Ward and Catherine Lee. So this show, again, another one that still not in third place, but obviously there's much more of a story behind it, as I said, than just a competitive factor. Third show here, 2 of 3, from the Cadets that I have here, and really the Cadets have done a lot of patriotic shows, but also done those shows well. This show here, the 2014 recent show, entitled Promise America, again, another third place show. 96.875 championships, obviously in Indianapolis. Blue Devils, this was their season where they set the record for the highest score. Blue Coats to be at the Cadets on finals night, all that. All the pieces from the Cadets 2014 repertoire were from Ellen Copeland, and they're listed here: The Promise of Living, Lincoln Portrait, Music for the Theater, Movements 1, 2, and 4, Grover's Corner, Galatian Spring, all those the Cadets played. This was the show with the narrator that walked up and down the stage. I really enjoyed this show, and really just a good production that maybe not necessarily deserve first or second place with the shows that were being brought out that year, but definitely still a very good show in the history of both Drum Corps and of the Cadets. The third Cadets show I was talking about is 1995, the best placing American show, and this finished second with a 97.2. They were the American Quintet. Championships were in Buffalo, New York. Repertoire here, all music by John Williams, Land Race, Swing, 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 and the Rivers, Born on the 4th of July, and Blowing Off Steam from Far and Away, that is. So, as I said, one of the best placing Cadets, not necessarily Cadets shows, but American shows, and silver medal in 1995, where the Cavaliers won. This was really during the prime time of the Cavaliers. I said 1992, I say now 1995, and I said 2002 as well earlier for the Cavaliers, just 3 of their championships. So, again, just an American show for this July 4th. Called an American Quintet in 1995. And the final show here, which I can probably speak the most to, because not only did I watch this, but I watched it quite a few times, where 3 of those I never saw when they were being performed. This show, Broken Arrow High School, 2018. The United States of America, they finished 4th place at Grand Nationals. 95.45 was their final score in Indianapolis. The show featured popular American tunes. You see just two of the drill stuff they did in the show, 2 of the things they made on the field, the Star and also the USA, just 2 of the things they did from that show to feature here. And this show was really a crowd favorite. My favorite moment of the show was watching live on Flow Marching during semifinals of Grand Nationals and seeing them bring out the flag. That was really one of the best moments I've seen, like one of the most crowd-pleasing and amazing moments that I've seen in both marching band and in Drum Corps. This show here, aside from their 4th place finish in Grand Nationals, they also won the St. Louis Super Regional, where these pictures are from, and also they won the Oklahoma State Marching Band championship. So, another successful American show that not necessarily won, but was definitely a crowd pleaser at the shows that we did attend. Today, Drum Corps on the 4th of July 2019, the Corps will be marching parades in all of these states listed: California, Georgia, Illinois, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Oregon, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Washington, Wisconsin. You can see the full lineup of where corps are and were performing this July 4th on DCI's website, but I just chose the states because there's a lot of corps there's some that are bouncing around between like 3 states, and there's also some corps that have like 4 parades in 1 state, so just a lot to feature here, and really I just felt like summing it up this way. But definitely, as every year, always a good time in Corps where not necessarily, of course, performing their shows, but are having the experience of performing for audiences that you usually don't get to perform for. Usually it's the marching band, drum corps fan base, but when you're marching on the 4th of July, it's really that whole universal fan base, if you will, of people that not necessarily go to drum corps shows or marching band events or know anything about the activity, but are more just common folk that are just enjoying the performance by the corps that they are receiving. So, thank you for watching the podcast this July 4th, 2019. Just a few things. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpcentral.weekly.com for all the latest updates from these guys, DCA scores, schedules, lead work, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things drum corps. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Drumcore Geek, and subscribe to the Show Day podcast on YouTube, where this podcast and more will be posted. Finally, leave your thoughts in the comment sections, questions, input, comments, etc. All greatly appreciated. As I said, thank you for watching on this 4th of July. Wish all of you a happy 4th of July. Thank you for watching. And now to finish the podcast off today, the Star Spangled Banner.